following is a production of Medfield TV.
That it's volunteer run, that you don't know what you're going to find, that you see things that you really don't need, but you think you do. And it's got a nice communal feeling to it. It's pretty cool. Volunteers are great.
The wonderful thing of the swap area here, great return policy, and you don't need a receipt.
Just wondering, the swap area is great because I don't know who donates these. I got like 15 or 16 of these last week when they went on a run for the dump area. And hallelujah, like look at all these. I personally love National Geographic. I'm not even subscribed to them, so I just get them for free here. And I learn a lot from them, and I think it really helps me in the long run because I love learning about National Geographic.
The great thing about the swap is not just that you find good items or whatever, but you can drop things off that you don't need that somebody else can have. And you know, nowadays everything's like a disposable society. People just throw things away. Right. And a lot of stuff really to be reused, you know, just helps everybody out and helps the environment and the world and makes the world a better place. At least once a week, maybe twice, you know.
What'd you find?
She likes horses, so we got horses.
Some bracelets.
What'd you find last time you were here, Eileen?
The game Battleship.
My brother.
Were all the pieces there? Was it in good shape?
Yes.
And a hedgehog because I have a pet one.
Tell the microphone what you found.
Bags and stuff.
What's that? Get your microphone out. Does yours work as good as mine?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't. It doesn't work. That means Dad has to fix it, huh? Oh boy.
Some garden implements, you know. Clay pots are always good. We've gotten some of those here. My wife's nephew was visiting recently, and from Norway. Needed a car seat, and they had like an almost brand new one here. They were able to wash up and download the instructions for, and we had it for 2 weeks while they were here, and it was great.
Probably the horses and the hedgehog, and probably the matching BFF bracelets.
I can't get
The
one.
BFF bracelets.
Good pair of stereo speakers.
Nice.
Still in my living room now, because people don't appreciate like speakers anymore. You know, the kids nowadays, they just have like the little earbuds, or they have the bad music coming out of like their computer or whatever. But you know, if you appreciate good quality music, you know, you like these speakers, and they're very good.
I have. Actually, you can't see it from here, but I just got done from the metal pile, and there was this really, really, really cute itty-bitty teeny-weeny bicycle. Well, I met a friend through a friend doing this, and we're going to fill a container up and send it to Africa with bicycles. So next week, if you see Randy's garage van here and it's not me, we're going to Africa with that. And last year he sent me some pictures of the villagers riding the bikes from the Medfield transfer station. It was kind of neat. And the lesson that I also taught my girls was, if you saw the pictures, you can see the young woman washing clothes, not in a washing machine, but in a bucket. In the clothesline, remember? What was your feeling towards that? You're lucky you got a washing machine,
lucky.
Right? You're lucky. Yes, you are lucky.
That's a
Anything?
very interesting question, and the answer would be I have polished things up, and I have touched up some woodwork, with things that have minor scratches.
I'm Melanie, and I am a swap volunteer. And I was just saying that my son built a 3D printer from old printer parts, and he did, order some things online, but a lot of the stuff was made from old printer parts. I decided to do like one does, build a 3D printer. It's amazing sometimes what you can find. There's, sewing machines and just everything. You name it, we get it. It might not be the time that you want it. It might take a while. But also you can see things walking out the door that you're like, oh, I would have taken that if I had seen it, but somebody else saw it first. But it's pretty amazing what we find here. And a lot of us we don't want things to be going into the trash, and we love to reuse, and some of us are extra frugal. And just to be able to find something here and still, instead of paying a bunch of money for it, is pretty awesome. Oh, I have a sewing room. Most of the sewing room is from, I've got a couple of cabinets in there that I got here and, painted them, and most of the things from in that sewing room are from the swap. So it's pretty awesome. And you find a piece of furniture and maybe you say, oh, I don't have room for this, but maybe it's better than something you have at home. So you take it home and you bring the other thing back. So it's a constant, swapping up of things that you like. Oh boy. Just anything that's kind of good quality can go pretty quickly. Sometimes things we don't end up getting them to their places because somebody will just go woo and grab it, which is fine. It's hard to say. Small tables for some reason in the furniture thing, like small tables people like to take. And then there's things that sit around and you go, this is an awesome thing, and it just hasn't found the right person. But we do pass things on to the Epilepsy Foundation, and not so much gets trashed anymore. We do have to throw some stuff away if, it's just like is the kind of thing that, say, the Epilepsy Foundation won't take. Nobody's taken it for quite a while here and we need space for other things, or maybe, despite the tents, sometimes things get wet anyway. We have, the rain that comes in this way or something, so sometimes things get ruined that way. But it used to be the way the swap worked was the guys would come in at like 2:45, 3 o'clock, and they'd shoo everybody out and they would throw every single item that had been brought there away in the trash. So we do have to still throw some things out, but compared to what it used to be, it's a pittance, really, what we throw out. And again, we do pass a lot of things on to epilepsy and other places like that. Usually it's furniture that, like furniture that's not very good, that's maybe not real wood. So if it gets wet, it gets all, expands, and or sometimes things that somebody brought and they're broken already, Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you'll get a box and you're like, somebody obviously gave us their trash accidentally, or there's trash mixed in. But the other thing that sometimes will get thrown out is upholstered furniture that is just really, dirty, couldn't possibly be cleaned, nobody's taken it, nobody's interested. You might be concerned about it being buggy, so that's the kind of thing that might get thrown out. Good quality stuff doesn't thrown out anymore, really, so that's a good thing. Yeah. And so many times we have people bringing things in and other people just coming and going, I need one of those, dining room tables and wardrobes and dressers and just all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. There's so many things people say, oh, can you keep an eye out for this? And it's like, I'll try, but there's so many things we would be like holding things all day. We try to remember somewhat, but, it's only so much you can do. I don't think my memory's good enough to even answer that. I mean, there's been a lot of things where you look at it and you just go, who would have brought this? Who, but I can't remember really what they are specifically. We did find, recently there was this lovely bowl, and I, saw it from afar, and it's just beautiful ceramic bowl, and it was blue on the outside, very pretty. And I went to look at it, and inside was, the name of like so-and-so and so-and-so and a wedding date from just a few years back. And it's like, it's kind of sad that, so obviously the marriage didn't work out and I brought it here. And I always think like, why would you bring something like that here that's got your names and the date and stuff? Maybe toss that one or take marker and mark it or something. I don't know anything, but so we sometimes get things like that, which is a little strange. But as far as I know, we've never gotten anything live, but we have found some interesting animals here, just in general. Like a few weeks ago, there was just a little teeny frog, like about this big, that was sitting on a whiteboard in the toy area. So we had to we were moving stuff around, we're always moving stuff around, and it was like, wait a minute, and so I, kind of put it over, hoping it would jump off, and eventually it wasn't there anymore, so I think it jumped off. We've got dragonflies here lately, dragonflies that just flutter around and sit places. One time, some years back, we saw some kind of a bug that we had no idea what sort of bug that was. My husband took a picture of it. And if you were here a month or so ago, you would have seen caterpillars everywhere. It was the gypsy moth caterpillars, and they were climbing up the tent. I guess they thought that was, they were going to reach leaves or something if they climbed up something, but yeah. So we had them everywhere. You find them on you. You were stepping on them.
Yeah.
But nobody's brought anything live. Sometimes we do joke, like somebody will bring a dog in their arms or a baby, and somebody's like, "Ooh, is that for the swap?" But no, I'm pretty sure. We take almost anything, but live things would be a no-no. We have found. There was actually 4 dead mice, little baby dead mice, recently over by the upholstered stuff. We don't know what happened, but and then over the winter we left our things here. We piled everything up and covered it and carefully, and the mouse found some things they wanted to, hang out in, and so we did find a little bit in the way of dead mice and mouse turds. So opening the swap up in the in the spring and closing back in the fall, you know, those are multi-day kind of events.
Okay.
But we get, you know, we get a lot of help. People pitch in. So yeah, we have not seen any skunks. There is a woodchuck that I've seen like climbing that that mound of dirt over there. So there's a woodchuck that's in the area. Well, mostly Nancy, you know, kind of forced people. I'm kidding, but she does recruit. So Nancy is, you know what, she's not here today. She was here this morning and she went on home. But, you know, she's always introducing herself. Hi, I'm Nancy. And you are, you know, and constantly. And then she'll be like, and this is Melanie, and this is Mary Pat. And so she just is striking up conversations all the time. And that's how I got involved many years ago when they, you know, would throw things out at the end of the day, and we sort of slowly took over here a little bit, and Nancy was a big part of that. But she kind of recruits people all the time, like, oh, you know, if you have any time, we could use some help down here. So, yeah, that's Nancy. But you know, we could always use more volunteers, of course. And there's people that will just come in and say, I've got a half hour. What do you want me to do? And then there's other people that are kind of really good about having like a shift, that, you know, they're here right before it opens and they're here, you know, until like 11:30, and then they go home, and that's their shift, and they're very reliable and you can count on them. There doesn't always have to be. You know, we tend to prefer that, you know, that there is, but you know, if we have a situation where somebody's on vacation or something, Nancy always thinks that we should have somebody here, but like if you don't feel well or something, you should be going home even if there's nobody here. Right. You know, like it will survive without a volunteer sitting here. People will put things away if they want to. They'll dump them here if they want to, but you know, it's not going to fall apart without a volunteer. But we do like to have a volunteer here all the time. When we close for the day, we leave this open. So when we close for the day, what we do is we bring the fabric inside. We put, you know, things under the tents that have been left out, unless, you know, it's something that's sort of a last call item that, you know, it's kind of on its way eventually to the trash. Then we might not try to find a spot for it under the tent. But we bring in the fabric. We might pack up fabric for epilepsy just because, you know, it'll get damp if we do have rain, even under the tent, you know. We bring, you know, you can look out there and see that there's some things that are out, right? So the recycling bins come in, the trash bins come in, a little table over there goes in underneath the tent. So basically we're just trying to get things out of the elements, and we always do a cardboard check, so you can run through all of the things and make sure there's not a cardboard box on the ground, because when it does rain, we have rain flowing through here sometimes a little bit. So something sitting in a cardboard box is potentially going to be ruined. So I don't really even know. I mean, I was sort of in on the beginning of it, but I can't even remember how long ago that was. I know I get these daily pictures from Shoebox. You guys know about Shoebox? Our pictures are on something called Shoebox. So every day I get an email from Shoebox that says like 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 7 years ago, which is kind of fun.
Right, yeah.
So on that day. And I just saw one from the swap that was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And at that point we had like one small tent that Mary Pat had donated to us, and one really little tent that we had our supplies in. But I think, you know, it's been 5, 6, 7 years. I don't even know how long since we sort of started keeping things overnight and covering things with drawers and trying to sort of keep it. We didn't want it to look like a garage sale. The guys didn't want us to, you know, leave a lot of things so it looked like a garage sale. Right. So that's been a number of years. Nancy would probably remember better. What can the town do? Well, they've already done a lot, which is fantastic. We've been growing and growing, and we've got all these tents now, and this is so much easier now to do things at the end of the day. It used to be, we'd have all that furniture out and we'd have to tarp it and it would get wet anyway, and it was pretty horrible. But the one thing that we would love down here would be some kind of a generator where we can have a fan.
Yeah.
But, and people will come in and say, don't you have a fan? And it's like, no electricity. So, we would love a little bit of electricity so we could have a fan down here. But, again, I think Nancy or even Mary Pat would have a better idea of what the town could do for us. But they've done pretty well, I think. We're feeling more supported lately than in prior years because they've really done a lot. And my husband helps too. He helps on Saturdays usually in the electronics tent, and my kids have helped time to time. It's fun. We get a lot of people through. We've got our regulars. Oh, it's amazing, the things. I make quilts, and so I've found fabric here, which is great because I think free fabric is among the best fabric of all. And it's so awesome to come and know that you're using something somebody else didn't want anymore, and you didn't have to pay a bunch of money for it. So.
Hi, I'm Nancy Irwin. I am one of the volunteers at the swap, and my nickname is the Grand Poobah.
And I'm Mike Clancy, and I volunteer here and come here a lot.
I'm a big recycler. I recycle absolutely everything I possibly can at home. It started about 10 years ago when items used to be just dropped off here in the dirt, and at the end of the day, everything got thrown away. So I would come over, I would shop here. I wasn't involved as a volunteer then. I would shop, and I would come over at the end of the day and take cardboard boxes and recycle them in cardboard. And then I would take things and put them in my car and bring them back the next swap day because I didn't want things thrown away.
And I'm frankly a scrounger, so I come here to see what I can find. But while I'm here, I help out if I can.
And Mike is being very humble, but he's an engineer, and he is our actual electronics expert, shall we say. So it started about 10 years ago when I came over to get the cardboard boxes and take things home in my car. And then at that time, there were half a dozen of us that were doing that. So, Mike was one, Melanie was one, Bob and Judy, and Barbara. I believe we were the six. And we each had a favorite thing to take home. Somebody would take books to the library, for the library. Somebody would take items to the playground. Barbara always took styrofoam. She's our styrofoam queen here at the swap. So we kind of began talking about it and decided that we would do this on a regular basis. And so as the years went by, the town gave us some metal shelves, and we were allowed to keep things on the metal shelves. But whatever we could stuff on the metal shelves could be kept. The rest of the stuff got thrown away. So between the shelving and what we took in our cars, that's all that got saved. And then someone named Mary Pat, and Mary Pat is the other, my partner here at the swap. She was given permission to bring one of her tents down here on a trial basis. So we did that the last 6 weeks of the swap season, which was September and October. And it worked out well. So then the town allowed us to keep that for a couple of years. Then we began approaching the town for more help. So as you can see now, we have one big tent and 3 canopies. The tent and 1 canopy was purchased by the town, by our tax dollars basically, and 2 of the canopies were donated by memo. And this makes it so much easier, and the place is paved now, so it's not dirt and potholes like it had been in the past. So now it's paved, it's safer. So It's a lot easier now than it was 10 years ago. I am. I'm here. It's open Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 9 to 3. And I am here most of those days, all day.
And I also.
I get to meet lots of new people. So I introduce myself to people and they tell me who they are and why they're coming to the swamp. I think it's great. But my really favorite part is working with young people. So high school students come down here to volunteer to do some community service, and Boy Scouts come down as well. And that's really my favorite part, to see young people involved in recycling, because I can't do it much longer. I'm getting old.
And I enjoy coming here, again, for the people I meet, friends, if you want to call them that, better than a bar room. And also, as I say, scrounging, taking stuff that I have no idea what I'll do with, but I'll take it anyway.
They can ask us when they're down here. We all wear tags that say Swap Volunteer, or we have aprons that say Swap Volunteer. Occasionally, it's put on the patch. Sometimes articles are put into the newspaper, and sometimes Facebook. Yes, Facebook. Thank you. And we also have a board here that says if you're interested in volunteering, sign up here. But the sign-up sheet is empty, so we could use lots more help. A lot of us are here all day, or most of the day, the whole 3 days. It doesn't mean if you volunteer that you will be commandeered to do that much work. If you could come an hour a week, an hour a day, an hour every 2 weeks, that's fine. Like any help at all, because it's a lot of work keeping this place organized and clean and safe.
So move your life from totally useless to rich and fulfilling. Come here and help out, or at least come and chat, or listen to silly people chatting, but come anyway.
I think there are numerous. I would say toys, sports, things for the kids, bicycles, that sort of thing. The toys are in one particular tent, but the bicycles are outside. I would say books, puzzles, games, crafts, houseware items, electronics.
Yeah. Usually somewhat older computer printers, things like that. Do not bring television sets. Comment. Especially the ones that do not bring the CR2, cathode ray tube television sets. We can't take them.
They're hazardous waste, and we're not allowed to take those. So really what we do take is everything but TVs, mattresses, but we do have mattress recycling somewhere else at the transfer station. And I always say we don't take false teeth. So anything but those three things you are allowed to bring down. And we do recycle things. We recycle plastic here and cardboard here and metal. So we are a recycling center. We try not to throw things away. So we work our hardest to not throw things away. And we do pack up when we have an enormous amount of one item, like, for example, a lot of books. People from the library come down and take them, but we also pack books up for a charity, Epilepsy Foundation, who has its trailer right here on site. So we pack up books. We pack up anything that we have too much of, so we can make room for the newer items. Not newer necessarily meaning new from the store, but different items. So we make room for different items. It's constantly changing here. You come here in the morning on Wednesday, and then if you come back here again on Friday, it's not totally different, but a lot of it is very different. It moves quickly here.
Okay, and there's no particular time to come, because you never know who came before you and dropped off that thing you just were dying for. So I can't predict when that happens, so come whenever you feel like it. Come often.
Well, not really often, because you're really only supposed to come for half an hour a day. The purpose of the swap here is to recycle, but it's for equal opportunity. We're not here so one person can stay here all day. We're here so everybody gets a chance to come and park and shop for half an hour a day. So you can, and it used to be 15 minutes actually, but we advocated for half an hour, because I think it takes a half an hour to park your car, drop off your items, do a little chatting among your townspeople, and then look for something that you would like and then put it in your car. So a half an hour, I think, is adequate. One of the volunteers told me that the craziest thing she saw was a frozen turkey. There was somebody that was moving from home, moving out of town totally, and was cleaning out his freezer, and he brought down a frozen turkey. So she took it home and she cooked it, and she's still alive today, so I guess it was okay. So.
Okay, and I don't think I saw anything really crazy. Unusual, I forget whether it was wine or whiskey, but a bottle. So somebody was maybe taking pity on us, I don't know.
Did you take it home and drink it, Mike?
No, I left it for the next unfortunate.
So Mary Pat is our artistic expert here, and she does take things home herself and paint them. She paints things here. She paints fabric, and she shows how you can paint fabric here, how you can paint wooden furniture. And there are, like, I'm sure you've taken the pictures of the 3 bulletin boards that she has set up on what you can do with things that you get here, like what you can do with skis, what you can do with old windows, what you can do with old picture frames. Oh my, I think it's quiet this week because it's vacation week, but I would say 100 easily, yes.
That depends on the day. Saturdays, as you might imagine, are quite busy, and Wednesdays much less so. Although your chance of finding what you're looking for, you'll just have to come when you can.
And it used to be that Saturday was the very busy day, and Wednesday and Friday hardly anybody was here. But over the years, it's become more popular. Word has spread. People know about the swap. People tell their friends about the swap. People tell their people they work with about the swap. So people come down here, some people for the first time, and they're very excited. So it is busy on Wednesday and Friday as well, but more so on Saturday, yes. We try to recycle as much as we can. You know, if it has metal in it or plastic in it, then we do recycle it into the metal and plastic dumpsters here. If it's fabric, we take the fabric off, and we because Epilepsy Foundation does want fabric. If it's wooden and it's moldy and it's been here too long, then we do have to throw it away. But sometimes we leave things here because there are people that come down here that like to fix things, and it's hard for one person to judge that it's not fixable because somebody else might say that it is.
If an item is broken in some way or defective, I would encourage people to put a note on the item, firmly attached, describing its problem. If there are loose parts or accessories or things that go with it, somehow attach them to the item, possibly put them in a plastic bag and attach the bag to the item. And if the item is very dirty, typically a roaster oven that has a whole lot of dirt in it, don't bring it. No, if you wouldn't put it in your kitchen, don't expect other people to put it in theirs.
On the other hand, I respectfully disagree, because if it's plastic or metal, we will recycle it here, whereas someone at home may just throw it in trash, and we don't want that.
They'll put it in the recycling bins.
The town, the official town can help us by perhaps fixing the drainage problem here. Sometimes when it rains really hard and it gets muddy, we do have a lot of mud in one particular tent. So fixing the drainage problem, either by having a berm along the edge or by having a trench built or whatever, but some kind of drainage. We also would like electricity here. There are numerous items that come down here that need to be plugged in, and we have no way to plug them in, and people ask us if they work or not, would like to try them out before they take them home. And occasionally, on a hot day like today is, we might, if we had electricity, we could have a fan going. I also think it would be nice if the fire truck could be moved off of the transfer station property so that we could utilize that land better, either for parking or for possibly having a drive-through area for people to drop off heavy items and then drive through and continue on out. Now that's the official town, but townspeople themselves, they can help out by possibly putting away their items. We do have a drop-off table, and it's meant for people that are in a hurry or that are elderly or that are on a cane or whatever and can't really put their items away. We really would like people to put their items away themselves if they could. We would like them to, if you could possibly tape up your boxes of puzzles and games. We do that because we don't want the puzzle and game pieces on the ground. So if people could tape them up in advance, that would be helpful. And then, as Mike suggested, keeping your items together. If you drop off something and it has 5 parts to it, if you can kind of leave the 5 parts together, either mark them as part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or tape them together. And also by making sure that you have your current transfer station sticker here. It's brownish in color this year, and a new one should have been purchased on July 1st. It is $75 for the first car, $25 for the second car, and that lasts for 2 years. So I do think that you get $100 worth of items here at the swap. So it's well worth paying your $75. Also, it's very popular here now, and we would request that people stay only 30 minutes per day shopping to leave room for other cars to come in and other people to shop. And we do need more help. So I'm Nancy Irwin, and my home phone is here in Medfield, 508-359-7251. Or you can contact me by email, which is all lowercase, n.Nancy Irwin, and that's IRWIN, at verizon.net. So please contact me if you would like to volunteer, or if you have any questions at all, or comments about how we could make this better. I would say kids' items, toys, bicycles, that sort of thing, outdoor areas, gardening supplies, electronics, would you say?
No.
Somewhat, no?
Less so.
Less so.
Decent tools will go pretty fast.
Sports, for sure. Sports equipment, sports cleats, clothing. Definitely books, kids and adults, and puzzles and games and craft items. And then I would say household as well. People come down here because they are getting their kids ready for college and they need some items here. And yes, those go really quickly, especially now that college will be starting soon.
Again, some nice tools. And that's sometimes an electronic instrument that I have actually used, unlike what the rest of my cellar contains. Oh, a voltmeter. A multi-volt, a volt amp meter, yes.
Wow, nice. I actually got a couch and a love seat here about a month ago. Wasn't looking for it at all, but it came, and it's like, and somebody was right here with a truck and was willing to take it right to my house and take my old couch back here. And my old couch went like within a couple of weeks as well. So it's recycle, reuse, share. It's all about that. I also have 9 grandchildren, and one of my favorite things to take from here is Brain Quest cards. Every time I go to visit this grandchild, and she's only 4, she says, "Nana, did you bring some Brain Quest cards?" And I'm kind of running out of the ones for up to the age of 5. I've got older ones now, and it's like, I keep saying you have to get a year older before I can bring more. So I always look for Brain Quest cards. Totally awesome. I mean, people tell me that all the time, that they're on a fixed income, they're low income, they live in a small place, and so they can't have big items. But when their smaller items break, they need to get new ones. They come here all the time before shopping. They get things for their kids that are going away to school, or even once they've graduated from college when they're getting their first apartments, or sometimes people are downsizing and they love that this is a place where they can leave their things and know that somebody else is going to take them and enjoy them because they don't want to throw their items away. Well, the swap is a section of the transfer station which is part of the Department of Public Works. So it's a place where you can bring anything at all except the TVs or the mattresses, which go elsewhere here on the property. That you can bring things here that you no longer need, no longer use, or you have too many of, that you would like other people to be able to use, and to let you know that your items hopefully do not get thrown away. Hopefully they do get used by the townspeople, or they do get packed up for numerous places such as the library, New Life Home Refurnishings, the senior center, the pet shelter, Epilepsy Foundation.
And cheapskates.
And cheapskates. Well, we don't pack up for cheapskates. They have to take their own things. But it's a place that you can recycle, reuse, renew. There are a lot of things here that you can take home and just fix up a little bit, and it'll be in good shape for you to use. So it's a place to divert items from the waste stream. And of note, it costs us money to take away the trash from town here. It costs less money to take away metal and plastic. So the more things that you can divert from the waste, the better.
Think of it as a very low-cost second-hand store that has benefit for people who are looking for second-hand items or can use them, who can fix things up on occasion if they're broken, but it also has a big advantage of reducing the load on the waste system, both here and throughout, because of we're in an age now where too much stuff gets thrown away, and people are not recycling it.
Yes, and we do believe in saving the planet. I mean, I say I save the planet for my great-grandchildren. We do need to save the planet. Also, though, there are items that come down here that are brand new, things that come right from the store with the price tag still on it. So some of the items here are absolutely gorgeous and new, and some of them are gorgeous and old.
The preceding was a production of Medfield TV.